What is it you imagine when you think of the word wealth? Is it being able to drive a luxury car or to spend money on the latest and greatest brands? If so, then on today's episode we're going to address that broken thinking. We'll also investigate some of the excuses people give for spending money on things they don't need. And at the end of this episode, I'm going to share a personal story of something that happened to me at the age of 11 that taught me that brands are not products. Brands are just a name. Welcome to this episode of To Go Rome. And you're going to get some words of wisdom from this fella later too. Welcome to any high street in the UK. Today is quiet, but once we move on from this pandemic, these streets will throng with people once again, ready to part with their well-earned cash. Here is where you have an opportunity, and I'll talk you through that shortly. But what I'd like to do first is get a sense from the common man or woman in the street as to why they're here today, ready to spend their money. So, welcome to this first To Go Rome Vox Pop. I've already seen our first candidate. Madam.
Hello.
Do you have a spare moment?
Of course.
Could you let me know what brought you into town today?
Sure. I was really good with my spending last month, so I think I deserve a bit of a splurge.
No, that's the same mistake that crash dieters make. They eat like a rabbit for a month, then next month splurge and find they weigh more than they did before they started. I say this because I've done it myself. What you need to do is find a budget and a spending plan that works for you rather than applying the crash diet approach, because otherwise you'll find you only end up spending more in the long run. Right, let's carry on with this Vox Pop, shall we? Sir, do you have a moment? Can I ask why you've come into town today? Yeah, so I delivered on my project last week. Did really well at it actually, so just feel like rewarding myself, you know what I mean? Yeah, done this one myself. You work so hard that you deserve something as a reward for all the hard work you've put in. But surely this fella deserves something a bit more tangible. Could it be he wants to invest in himself, or maybe learn a new skill? Or even take that money that he would have dropped on a new Xbox and invest it wisely to grow for his future? Surely that's what he really deserves. Come on, let's move to the next Vox Pop, shall we? Madam, can I ask why you've come into town today?
Nothing in particular. I've just bought some shoes because I really needed them.
Oh, this is a good one. We're all experts at fooling ourselves to get that short-term retail hit of adrenaline. But if this statement that this lady said is true, I recommend what she does is institute a waiting period. Let's say 72 hours. If after that she still is thinking about those shoes, then maybe she should go for it. But I think more often than not, she will have forgotten about those shoes completely. Okay, let's go to another Vox Pop, shall we? Sir, do you have a moment? Can I ask why you've come into town today? Yeah, sure. It's YOLO, bro, innit? You only live once. I'm out here living. That's what I'm doing. Okay, someone's got to say it. It may as well be me. This guy sounds as daft as he looks. Yes, he's only going to live once, we all are. But what he may not realise is he's likely to live around 90 plus years. He's robbing his future self of the comfort that he needs. It's time this guy became an adult. He's only going to live once, so he needs to plan for his whole life, not just a short-term hit. God, I'm getting frustrated with this. Come on, let's get to the next one. Ah, oh, dear me. Madam, can I ask why you've come into town today?
Nothing in particular. I just fancied a wander around the shops, and it's a day out, isn't it?
Oh my goodness. How did we get to a point where recreation itself is in fact parting with hard-earned cash? This woman just said wandering round the shops is a day out. How have we got... I've done that myself. But by the by, think about what you want to do. don't think about what you want to spend. You may well find that you gain real pleasure at a fraction of what you would have spent on a new pair of trainers that you didn't realise you wanted and are stuck in the back of a cupboard a year later with the label still on it. There's plenty of ways of spending time which is absolutely free. Think about it. It's actually working against you to walk into town not knowing what it is you want to buy. When I say town, that could also be a mall, you know what I mean? Yeah, let's get to the... I think this is going to be the last Vox Pop, because if we have another one, I'm going to blow my top.
Sir, do you have a moment? Can I ask why you've come into town today?
Yeah, sure. So, going for a big promotion of work. I'm out to get a brand new suit, so I look great for my boss.
This guy sounded a bit of a Burke. I don't know if that's what you thought. To me, doesn't sound like he's really that switched on. But anyway, if his boss is more impressed with what he's wearing than the output of the work he's producing, maybe he needs to find a new boss. But you know what? In reality, I very much doubt his boss is even looking at what he's wearing, because he's probably as concerned about what people think of him. The problem here is we all fall into the trap of wanting to impress other people, when in fact those people will neither care nor be impressed. Wow, this is the first Vox Pop. Question for you out there. Would you like another Vox Pop in the future? Because I'm not sure I do. These guys sound absolutely crazy. So if you want another Vox Pop, let us know in the comments below. If you do, you're as mad as they are.
So there you have it. These average people we spoke to today in this average town have a slightly quirky view when it comes to money. But I said earlier, you've got an opportunity. Let me hit you with that now. During this pandemic, people are at home, unable to spend their hard-earned cash. But there is a pent-up requirement. And as soon as we come out of the pandemic and people can spend, it's going to be like the roaring 20s, the roaring 2020s. People will be out spending. Your opportunity is to do quite the opposite. As we've looked at, people are looking at different opportunities of spending their cash. What you can do is this: two opportunities. One, the money that you have now, get it working for you, invest it. Two, set up an automatic process by which monthly you have money going into investments. That way you save yourself from all this YOLO, splurge and all that kind of stuff that people seem keen to do. You need to remember that money is a tool, and you can make that tool work for you while other people have it working against them. In future episodes, we will be talking about effective money management and investments. Now would be a really good time for you to click that subscribe button. We've got so much content coming your way. But anyway, let's get personal. I said earlier that when I was 11 years old, I had a great learning experience. So let's go and have a look at that now. If you're finding that your money is running around in circles, you may well appreciate this roundabout in Swindon. It's called the Magic Roundabout. One of only a handful in the country, which is basically 6 roundabouts in one. What you can see is cars rushing in all different directions. They all know their own path, but they're going in what looks like random locations. You need to do the same thing with your money. You need to take your own path and follow it. Now, I said I've got a story for you, and in the background over there, over here, that's a pretty special place. My own personal theatre of dreams. But let's see if I can do this. I'm going to see if I can get across the Magic Roundabout running. I'm trying. I'm going. I'm going. I'm going to do it. I'm in the middle. I'm nearly in the middle. I'm in the middle. There's cars everywhere. Right? There's an ambulance. Let's go. I'm running. I did it. I did it. There we go. That was a magic roundabout. Oh. So, I said I was going to tell you a story, and I will. Pretty important story come to that. First of all, welcome to Swindon Town Football Club. I've been supporting Swindon since my brother-in-law took me to my first game against Carlisle United in 1978. It was a 0-0 draw, and from that moment to this, I was hooked. I'm out of breath. Tell you what, look at this magic. Pause, play. Look at that for magic. Now I can breathe. I told you I was going to tell you a story, and it's when my dad took me to the county ground to buy me the latest Swindon Town shirt. Did I buy it from this amazing club shop, an emporium if you will? No, this was in the 70s. Things weren't quite as salubrious as this down at the county ground. So I'm going to walk around and tell you the story when I get there. I used to pick up my tickets here, match day tickets, little window there. The home of Swindon Town Football Club. Swindon Town Football Club, you're going to think me a glory hunter, I know, but they are based on performance over the last 10 seasons. They are the 67th largest league football club in England. Okay, I'm a glory hunter. There's the club coach. They're going somewhere, maybe they're having a day out, but that's it. It's now the community trust site, but that is where I got that club shirt. So, 11 years old, picture the scene. There's a little me, and my dad says, "Do you want the new shirt?" I've proven to myself, you know. And I did want a new shirt, so he brought me down here. We went to that shop. All it was a man behind the counter and a couple of boxes full of football shirts. And I said, "Can I have a new football shirt, please, for the new season?" And the guy asked a very innocuous question. But that question has actually changed my life at the age of 11. Now, you've got to remember, this is in the days before football was so heavily marketed. Back then, it was just a sport. And he said to me, "So, do you want a shirt with the club sponsor on, or do you want the shirt with just the club crest?" So I asked to see them both, obviously, to enjoy the whole buying experience. And he got them out, so one, just a red shirt, club crest here, that's good. The other one, pulled it out, club crest, and all across the front was the name of our sponsor. My dad turned to me and said, "Surely you don't want to be running around advertising some random company, do you? You're a fan of Swindon Town Football Club." Well, that's paraphrasing. What he actually said was,
"Well, I said, you don't want to be running around publicising some company, you want to wear your Swindon Town shirt."
That's what he said. I realised he was absolutely right. I don't want some company emblazoned across my shirt. So I just went for it without that big advert in the middle. So there you have it, quite an uplifting story, but something that I think we can all learn from. I was only 11 years old and I worked that out, but what it means is that from then until today, I've only ever bought something because of the function that it produces for me. I don't buy it because of a particular brand. That isn't to say I don't own brand things, I do, but I buy them based upon what they can do not what they look like. So if you're currently scrolling through a shopping site, a pair of new trainers for 250 quid, think about it. Is there a pair of trainers for 40 quid that can do the same job? Anyway, thanks for watching this episode. And I'll tell you what, this is our 3rd episode, and if you've already subscribed, we're humbled, really, because we're doing really poor work so far. So we're humbled, and we want to say, actually, Sarah, come here. We want to say a heartfelt thank you. So, Sarah,
Thank you.
thank you. It's been absolutely mind-blowing for us to see the people that have subscribed and commented on our work already. If you saw earlier on in the video a little pop-up that said to comment, that comment would be, think about things you can do that don't cost money that give you a lot of pleasure and enjoyment, and please keep it clean. You know, don't put the kind of stuff she'd write. Keep it clean. If you haven't already subscribed, do that now. We'd appreciate it. You'll find out what's coming up next. If you don't mind clicking the old like button, we quite enjoy that too. But this has been episode 3 of To Go Roam. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.